Sam Ekstrom, Luke Inman, Zone Coverage Draft Guide, talking Vikings targets, looking at offensive tackles. Vikings have 2 first-round picks. Offensive tackle, not necessarily a desperate need, Luke Inman. Riley Reif probably back for another year. But if they want to move Reif inside, maybe start grooming a tackle for the future, this might be a good draft to do it. A deep tackle class, starting with your 2 favorites in the first round, Josh Jones, Mekhi Becton, the mammoth from Louisville.
Well, let's start with this guy because he probably won't be there. He's in that top tier of offensive tackles. And just when you're looking at the NFL draft, it seems like one big name usually falls a little bit further than they should. Brian Burns to the Panthers last year. Derwin James goes to 17. Randy Moss wasn't supposed to be there at 18. Percy Harvin wasn't supposed to be there in those late teens. Are the Vikings a little bit too far outside the window, sitting at 22 and 25? Maybe. I think maybe if a guy like Mekhi Becton or any of those top offensive tackles, talking about Tristan Wirfs, Andrew Thomas, are available, you may see Trader Rick move up and try to go target one of those guys. Whether it's tackle or interior offensive line, the Vikings, no doubt, will target an offensive lineman very early in this draft.
You know, day 2, good options as well. And Prince Tega Wanogho, one of the greatest stories in the draft, coming over from Nigeria, losing his parents. You know, he came to play basketball, ended up playing football. That's an incredibly intriguing option. Lucas Niang, our buddy Arif loves him out of TCU. What do you think of this day 2 crop?
Well, I like it. And, you know, with 22 and 25, again, I think Trader Rick, let's not be surprised if he moves up or moves back. And if he misses out on these day 1 guys, I'm very comfortable. I really am with any of these day 2 guys. My guy's Austin Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised just how gifted and athletic he is to see him go on day 1. I really wouldn't. Ezra Cleveland absolutely dominated the combine. Again, if you're looking for a Gary Kubiak athletic offensive lineman, Ezra Cleveland really fits the bill. You talk about Prince Tega, Lucas Niang. I'm very comfortable with any of those guys if they skip and somebody like a cornerback or a wideout's just too good to pass up on day 1, 22 and 25. I'm still very comfortable plugging and playing one of those guys with the ability to move Riley Reif in or out. I think that helps a lot.
And on day 3, we got to talk about Ben Bartch, St. John's Johnnies. And it's amazing that I'm even saying this, but if he lasts to day 3, I mean, that's how much a lot of teams like this kid. If he lasts to day 3, he's got the local connection. Vikings probably have a little edge in scouting him because there's not a lot of coach-to-player contact with the pandemic. Ben Bartch out of St. John's going to get some consideration, but day 3, rounds 4 through 7, a lot of big names there as well.
Yeah, I think a couple of these names are right on that border. Could they go day 3? Could they go round 3? You're right in that mix. Trey Adams, listen, this was a guy who's talked about every year in the top 15, 20 picks. A lot of injury concerns. He's going to drop because of those. How far, we'll find out. Matthew Pert's another guy who I wouldn't be surprised ended up going late, round 3. He's got that kind of ability. But Ben Bartch, yeah, you talked about the small school label. Listen, after we've seen Ali Marpet, a D3 guy, dominate the Senior Bowl like Ben Bartch did, Ben Bartch
huge Senior Bowl
was holding his own against some of the top-tier competition. Guys, he's going to play in the NFL. Scouts love that. Ali Marpet went day 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Bartch ends up going sometime late day 2. So again, the Vikings have they got plenty of options here, Sam, but I wouldn't be surprised if they want to skip on one in day 1. There's plenty of names, as you see here, plenty of options they can look at.
Vikings have found a starting offensive lineman in the first 2 days, each of the last 3 drafts. Elflein, Bradbury, Brian O'Neill. Who will they find this year? Can't wait to find out. Those are your tackles. He's Luke. I'm Sam. Thanks for checking out the Zone Coverage Draft Guide.